Thank you, Timothy, for joining us. Fabulous Wenena is my name, Corporate Staffing Services. So I'm joined by Timothy. He's going to tell us more on what he does. So thank you for joining us today. Today is a special shoot. Why? Because we are shooting all the way from Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and I have a very special guest with me. His name is Timothy, but he's going to share more details about who he is, where he works, and more information about Dubai. So the reason why I thought about this shoot is because Dubai is very famous in Kenya for two reasons. One, a lot of Kenyans come here for holiday, tourism, and all that. And second, and that's why we are here, is because a lot of Kenyans are interested in getting a job in Dubai. At Corporate Staffing Services, no day ends without people coming to ask me, Pamina, do you hire for Dubai, do you hire for the UAE and the Middle East market? And with years we don't directly hire for people to go and work there. We do work closely with companies which are based in Middle East and they're looking to set up in Kenya. So I'm here on a visit, and Timothy was gracious enough to give us time to interview him and just get a deeper understanding of the employment and the job market in Dubai. So today that's what we are discussing. It's about the job market in Dubai, and asante sana, Bwana Timothy. It's nice to have you, and thank you for your time. As you can see him, he's working. Me, I'm in holiday, that's why I'm dressed the way I am. And we appreciate him taking time to join us. Thank you very much, Timothy, for having us and sparing time during this busy season for you, and we appreciate it. So we'll start by you sharing your professional background. Tell us life before you're currently working with One Air. What's your background? What were you doing before? And even how did you get a job here in Dubai?
Well, I will start by saying what I do. I head the commercial operations of Rwanda here in the region, based in Dubai, and I look after the UAE, I look after Oman, I look after Kuwait, I look after Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. Those are the markets that I look after. I've been here for the last 4 years. This is my 5th year. And during that time, there's been quite a lot of growth. And I would like to say that this is inspired also by where I came from. I started out as a travel professional. I was in the prestigious Kenyan College, and where I studied travel. And I started out in the travel agency business. Travel management companies, to be specific, the likes of Carlson Wagonlit, CWT, and the FCMs, and that is where I honed my skills. I started out in operations. I went back to school. I did my marketing you must be familiar with the Chartered Institute of Marketing. It's a UK body, very tough, very, very, very tough when it comes to marketing. I did that. I did both the postgraduate diploma, and that brought me out more of a commercial person. And what a better way to join, to sell a product that you understood. So I transitioned from operations into sales and marketing. And my first job, I remember at that point, was as group sales and marketing manager of one of the TMCs in Kenya. And that's when I started growing my commercial skills. And shortly after, I was appointed general manager of the organization. I moved on after that. Again, I went into meetings and events. I went again into general management for sales and marketing. During that time, I was interested. Coming from travel, I was interested in the airline. Remember, as a travel agent, airlines sell to us.
There are a lot of bookings.
We book on behalf of airlines, the travel agent. I wanted to transition into the airline, and I got an opportunity first with one of the Middle Eastern carriers. As I almost took up the job and all that, Rwanda came calling, and I took an offer and as a country head for the UAE. And fast forward, this is the 5th year running I'm here. So it's been a journey. It's not been easy. I would not want to tell anybody it's an easy journey, especially when you're transitioning from one industry to the other. You're transitioning from one country, to the other. So it's been a long journey, transitioning, settling in. There's been a lot of cultural changes. How we do business in Africa, how do we do business in the Middle East? There's been a lot of cultural orientation for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So two things very unique about you. So you're a Kenyan working in Dubai.
Yes.
So that makes you an expert.
Yes.
But also you are a Kenyan working for a foreign company. That is, you work for Rwanda Air.
Yes.
I mean, so how did you go about getting a job at Rwanda Air?
Like I said, it's more of networking and being out there. I talked about branding yourself. When I was in travel, be it in operations on the commercial side of things, I networked a lot. I was out there. People knew me. So as you do that, what goes around. I'm very, very, very active on LinkedIn. So a lot of my things I get through LinkedIn. I get opportunities through LinkedIn. I follow people. I follow organizations. So, one thing led to the other, and my name was forwarded even in, actually it was Qatar Airways. And my name came up. I got interviews. I went to Rwanda. They invited me all the way to Rwanda for an interview. And I got the opportunity actually to head the Middle East side of the operations. So it's just all about being out there.
So for you, what worked is networking,
Yes.
having a very good profile, social media profile,
Yes,
and
yes.
specifically
LinkedIn, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For someone watching us back in Kenya,
Yes.
If you had to advise them, how easy would you say it is to get a job here in Dubai?
Well, like in any job you're looking for, if you sit and decide that you want to look for a job, there are certain things that you have to do. You have to have a good CV, you've got to have done a proper research about the company, you need to have at least a basic minimum in terms of what you want to do. So I would not want to mislead anyone that it is easy to get a job in the UAE. Just like it is not easy to get a job in Kenya. It's not a walk in the park. You're not the only one. Unlike Kenya, where I would be battling it out to the fellow Kenyan, the UAE has over 200 nationalities. So I'm battling for one single job with could be 5 other nationalities.
It's very competitive.
So it's actually, I'd call it fiercely competitive here. And it is actually more than back home.
Yeah.
And this is where I keep saying there is a lot of misconceptions. There is a lot of misconception, there's a lot of misinformation that I'm going to leave Kenya, flying into the UAE, and get a job tomorrow. No. You have to work for it.
So here I am. You've been in here for 4 years. I know you've interacted a lot with a lot of Kenyans. What would you say are some of the top mistakes that people back home make when they think of working in, I would say not only in Dubai but also the Middle East?
I think the first thing is that people think this is, I know it's a land of opportunity, but I think people think the opportunities are right at the arrival at the airport. Maybe people think you're just going to arrive at the lounges and you get grabbed. And here's an opportunity, here's an employer. Number two, I believe that a lot of people who are here do not give the right information. So I am here and there is maybe my fellow village mates in Mushada who see me coming in good sports shoes and all, and they think, wow. So they think this guy is making it, and they think that I will leave Mushada and go to Dubai and be like this guy. So there is a lot of misrepresentation. There is a lot of also people not being advised that there is competition. So again, for me it's lack of information and also misinformation. That is the key thing. And also when they arrive here, some of them also get into the wrong company. They get misled on what you need to do. So there are also types of people, there are also people who become comfortable and they want to come in and straight want to start living the life.
The high life.
The high life that you saw on social media. Whereas when you land here, you need to deliberately come look for a job, go start researching, go into the internet, start following companies, start doing online applications, this kind of activity that has to be done consistently, not just a one-off. So that happens before they come, and some when they come here. I've seen a lot of successful cases of people who've landed here and have been very resilient. This person wakes up, goes into the net, is applying for jobs, and busy out there talking to people out there, distributing CVs. I've seen some very good, resilient, and consistent cases of people who've gotten it. I've also seen cases of people who've come here on a 3-month visa. Some is out of maybe bad luck. Some it's out of their own, do I call it laziness? And 3 months are gone and you don't have a job. And the visa is expiring, so you have to exit. So yes, there are many cases.
Yeah. One question that I get asked frequently is, if I'm to get a job outside the country, do I have to use an agent, and specifically for this market?
It's a yes and no for me, because let's talk about agents. You're in that field and you're more of an expert, but I actually think there are more agents recruiting for Dubai in Kenya than they are recruiting for Kenya.
Absolutely.
And most of those agents actually have not even been to Dubai themselves. So there are naughty people out there who just want to con people out of their hard-earned cash, and they say they're agents recruiting. They are genuine people like yourselves, like corporate staffing, who are actually out there to help Kenyans. So when it comes to agents, there are two types: the genuine ones and the ones who are not genuine. And again, so you can use an agent who may have been procured by companies in the Middle East, and a company tells you, I need 10, I need 100, or this number of Kenyans in this particular industry with this kind of qualifications. So a person X goes to that agent, goes through a minimum of requirements and tests here and there, and they come in. So that is one avenue. However, you don't necessarily need an agent, because, like I said, you can come into Dubai with buy a ticket on Rwandair, fly into Dubai, you have your 3 months visa, you have accommodation, and now you get in and you start looking for jobs. I have seen
It's possible for you to get to Dubai without a job, but
yes,
when you're here now, you actively search for a job.
I have interacted, and most of my friends actually came in that way. And some I know, I have a case of somebody who came to visit the brother or the sister or the cousin, and while they were there, the sister said, or the relative said, by the way, you can get a job. They sat in the house, went, registered, did the CV and everything, went online, tried it out. And there are people who actually didn't come to look for jobs. They came to visit their relatives and get the job that way.
Because of their own initiative, they ended up getting a job.
Exactly. So it happens. You can come with an agent, you can also come
on your own.
You can actually fly one day and come here with your visa and get a job.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So the other things I know Kenyans will be interested in is, are there specific industries where you're saying hire Kenyans?
Well, not necessarily, but I would want to say, because of our rich culture, we do a lot more. We do a lot well in hospitality. A big number of Kenyans I've seen are in the hospitality industry.
That's hotels, airlines,
and also
entertainment
establishments. It's a big. I've also, of course, retail.
Okay.
Malls, this kind of jobs where we require people who are, very good in hospitality. I mean, that comes from how we Kenyans are.
Okay.
So that is quite big.
Okay.
Yes.
What about, say, if I'm an accountant or an engineer or even an HR like myself, are there opportunities for skilled, high-level professionals?
Yes, specialist roles, yes. I would want to divide jobs in Dubai as, I want to look at it in terms of white-collar jobs and blue-collar. Specialist roles are here. There's so many. When you go on LinkedIn and careers and jobs, you find a lot of specialist roles. And yes, those opportunities exist. And like again I said, when you come into Dubai in such roles, it also depends on the level, your level of life and the level you are in your career. Are you starting out in that, or are you at another level? Are you being maybe transferred by your organization that has offices here? Or are you coming to look out for a job? So those opportunities are there. I've seen cases of engineers who have actually left different airlines and joined airlines here like Emirates. I've seen Kenyans who are specialists.
Interesting.
So a lot of us are here career people who are professionals in what I would say relatively good jobs.
Because I know what makes news, especially for me, to used to say it's the low level or unskilled. We are talking about house girls, we're talking about messenger services, security guards. I think that is what makes the headlines back home, and because of the mistreatment sometimes.
Okay.
So I was just wondering now, if I'm skilled professional with 10 years, 15 years of experience, do I still have an opportunity?
Yes. I think also we must also. With due respect, I think there are some news that sell. I mean, when it comes to media, there is what sells. If like those kind of issues you've heard about mistreatments. First of all, I've not heard about them here in the UAE. Maybe in other countries, but I know, of course, media wants to sell. Why not say the reality? Why not give the real picture of things on the ground? Like Kenyans like to say, vitu kwa ground is different. So I think, to be honest, there is an opportunity. There are opportunities for everybody, skilled, unskilled, everybody. It's all about what level.
It's a big market.
It's a big market, but with fierce competition.
Let's talk about salary. Here I am in Kenya, there's this misconception that, let's say I'm a driver or I'm an accountant earning 50,000. If I come to Dubai, I want 150,000. My salary will triple or double. What's your take?
My take.
Is it necessary that if I board an aeroplane, my value doubles?
My take comes with a question. That 150,000 shillings, are you going to be paid 150,000? Are you going to be paid in Kenya shillings here? And are you going to spend it in Kenya shillings?
No.
So, because...
First, will you get a higher pay?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily, because I think when you come in as a driver, there is a certain pay
structure.
There's a certain pay structure that they are paid. It is only that when you take that money, if it is, let's say, hypothetically, it's 2,000 dirhams. When you take that money and you tell somebody I'm earning 2,000 dirhams, and your village mate in Mushada multiplies that with 30, they're like, this guy's earning 60,000. He left us here the other day. You see, but when you take that 2,000 and place it here in Dubai, and the cost of living in Dubai, again, relatively, it may not be that much.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What other thing would you want Kenyans to know when it comes to salaries?
Well, when you are trying to think about a job, you need to ask yourself if it's, what are the kind of benefits are you going to get? Is accommodation taken care of? Is medical taken care of? Those kind of things, because a salary might look this big. But then when you come and break it down into different components of, accommodation, transport, then it stops again making a lot of sense. So you need to sort of do your due diligence. I've said this a lot of times in terms of what am I getting into before you jump and say this is what I'm going to do. Some organizations may look like they are not paying much, but they're providing you with everything. They're providing you with housing, they're providing you with transportation and food. So you find that there's somebody earning something, maybe little, or when it comes to these other bigger things, I call them the bigger things, they're taken care of.
They're taken care of.
So it's a mix of a lot of things, yes.
And what would you say in terms of the cost of living, if you compare Kenya and Dubai?
Yes. If I compare Nairobi and Dubai, because again, the cost of living is high here. Housing is the number one that is quite expensive. When you add up things like transport, when you add up a lot of other things, the cost of living here is quite high compared. And that's the reason why I would not take 150,000 shillings.
And compare it to earning the same amount?
Yes, you would not, because if I am earning 150,000 shillings in Kenya, which I would even say is quite high, and I'm living in how much? 10,000?
South C, South B.
An SQ, whatever, I'm paying 10,000, whatever. If I take the same amount of money, convert it into dirhams, first of all, I'm not able to get a house of that amount. So don't take that, and it's not comparing apples to apples when you do that. Yes.
Good. So off camera we were talking about how someone can position themselves.
Yes.
And the issue of CV came up.
Yes.
And every day I have people come into corporate staffing offices, and when they're applying for jobs in Dubai, they say, I want a Dubai CV. So you haven't been here for 4 years. Is there anything like a Dubai CV?
Again, very thorny subject, but I will give my take. First and foremost, a CV is a CV. There are certain requirements that have to be met in a CV. Whether you are in Africa, whether you're in the Middle East, wherever you would be, a CV must contain a certain minimum requirements or threshold for that matter. The only thing is that I think recruiters here, people think, what do recruiters want? What do recruiters in Dubai want? Recruiters in Dubai say want a photo, there, they want a certain address. And I believe after that thing becomes very repeated, saying recruiters in Dubai need this, recruiters in Dubai need this. This mentality of a Dubai CV, when I came in, I actually tried to Google.
See whether there's anything.
I actually attempted once and said Dubai CV, and I couldn't find anything. I would find images of CVs of somebody's an example of a CV, which is not so different from what I have. I don't have a Dubai CV. But when I Googled, it doesn't even return, the way you go to Google and it tells you it is a CV done
Something
in Dubai or something.
specific,
No. There is no specific thing you will find in Google even today. So I want to believe it's say, you came in, you found this, and you tell Timothy, by the way, you need to do your CV like this. Dubai people or Dubai recruiters like your CV like this. She came in, it was done like this. So 10 of us are telling people that, you need to do your CV. So I believe this is how the whole myth or this Dubai CV phrase was coined from. Because of that repeated. But I say, like I do a lot, I help a lot of people, in terms of CVs. So I'm also looking for a day when there will be a Timothy CV, because there's a particular way I like this CV, or a corporate staffing CV.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They tell people, and it sells.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Kenya, I remember I've had a lot of people say, no, this CV, go to corporate staffing.
Yeah, sure.
So if you do that repeatedly, and within generations, then it becomes a corporate staffing CV.
Format.
Yes.
But
yes.
what I'm getting from you is not the format that sells you, but it's the content.
It it is a content,
Yeah.
and I also, I mean, a CV is a tool to sell me. So this brand.
Sure.
So I want to believe that there are certain things that you put in a CV to stand out. And that's why I think in a different discussion we had with you, I said, let's say I'm at a senior management level. There are certain phrases or certain way of wording that, for instance, I would like to show achievements more than task related.
Yeah.
You see, so that is not a Dubai way. That's across the world.
The higher you go, the more you showcase your achievement.
Yes.
The task, what is in your job.
So even if I came to Kenya and I did more of tasks,
Yeah.
you will not look at me as senior management material.
I agree.
So then that's why I want to say that for me, I don't know so much. This Dubai CV thing for me, and I stand to be corrected. Somebody else could have a different opinion.
Okay. No, I agree with you. In all over the world,
Yes.
it's all about the content.
Yes.
Can an employer make sense of what you've done? And
Yes.
are you able to sell yourself more than just writing
Yes.
what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yes.
So still there, are there some websites you'd recommend for
Yes.
people back home, back in Kenya?
A certain, I have about one or two companies that I follow, but I see that are heavy in this. I say Gulf Talent is one of them. Bait is another one. I mean, I don't want to give a lot of like 3, 4, 5, 10, but
Yeah.
I mean, those are two that I have seen.
Gulf Talent,
Gulf
Bait,
Talent, Bait.
those are-
There could be, there are many. There are actually many because nowadays when you Google, you'll see HR such. There's so many in the UAE, and they are online based. So yes, when you even go and Google jobs in Dubai, you will see all these things, Indeed.com, Gulf Talent. So they are quite a number of them.
So utilize the internet and
I think 95%, if not 100% of the things in the UAE, like especially jobs, are online based.
they are posted online.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I was also talking about. When you learn in the UAE, first of all, I think one of the things I would like to tell the young people, everybody, you need to have a LinkedIn profile. And you need to change the location of your LinkedIn profile from Kenya to UAE, so that even if you're looking for jobs, the jobs that will pop up, or let's call them opportunities instead of jobs, are going to be opportunities based in this region. So those opportunities are there. Those companies that I'm talking about, those that they are also online. It's also advisable to follow those companies because they post a lot of opportunities, jobs. So yeah, those are the kind of things that one can do. Yes.
I was sharing with you the fact that back home, if you've worked abroad, there's a lot of interest from employers.
Yes.
Employers prefer, especially at managerial level. Kenyans who've worked abroad, in quotes, they sell like hotcake.
Yes.
So what would you say about the work ethic when you compare having worked for Rwanda and also now you're in Dubai? What would you say about the work ethic?
It's different. I mean, there's a whole. I think one of the first things that comes out straight is I talked about the culture so much. How do we do things in Kenya? What is a culture? And culture is a big word. As I said, it could be organizational culture, it could be a corporate culture of an organization. But let's just safely use the word culture. The culture in Africa and the culture in the Middle East is totally different. And like I always say when I was in school, when this culture thing we just used to fill it in and just pass an exam. But this time when you move from, like for me, it was, I think I have 3 different cultures that play in my mind every time. There's Kenya, there's Rwanda, and there's in the UAE. Things are different. People do things differently. And you have to respect different cultures. Then you come into the UAE where we have over 200 nationalities. Me, as a Kenyan, there is that person there who comes from another country. We look at things differently. There is a certain way I project my voice, and it looks rude to another person. So so I think why employers in Kenya might prefer somebody who's lived outside or that. I think the word is exposure, because the person who's lived in different countries or whatever is exposed vis-a-vis the person who has just experienced one culture. I think in Swahili they say kuishi kwingi kuona mengi. So this is the whole thing. If you constrict yourself in the Ndigwa, Mshada, then that is a box you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how different is Rwanda?
How different is Rwanda from from
Kenya, and especially in terms of opportunities and work approach?
You see, Rwanda is a country that is a very Rwanda is growing. We all know the history of Rwanda. That 25 years ago they underwent something very unfortunate. What's impressed me is how they've been able to rebuild in just 25 years. I compare a lot sometimes. I look at us who've been, we've had independence for how many years?
64 to, is it 63?
I look at how we do things. I was in Rwanda the other day, and something that I have to tell everybody that shocked me is there is a stadium, there is an arena. I went to this arena that was inaugurated in January 19, I believe, of 2019, and it was opened on August the 9th. How many? This is a 10,000 capacity arena. How many months?
8 months.
And I do remember, with all due respect, that some of our politicians promised us stadiums when they were coming in.
In 2013.
2013. I don't know how many stadiums, So that by itself. When they said in the UAE here in Dubai, they were refurbishing what they call the southern runway, because they were having a refurbishment program. And they said the project is going to last 45 days. And believe me, this project lasted exactly
45 days.
Being in the airline fraternity, we used to be called for briefings before the project. We used to get briefings in between the project and updates. And on the 45th day, they announced the first aircraft that took off. So when they say 45 means 45 days, not maybe months, not maybe years. You see, so this is for me one of the things I can use as an example of the 3 different countries in what I have seen.
A strong work ethic.
A strong work ethic, and a place where, unfortunately, sometimes in our country, I might cut corners and use kitu kidogo. When I come to Rwanda, it's zero corruption. That doesn't work. When I come here, the same thing. I don't want to use my chest to get things. It's purely collaborative. It's driven by negotiations. You want to get things done. So it's a strong work ethic. So having lived through those different cultures, I want to call myself more exposed than somebody else. And that maybe answers the question why there could be a preference of people who've lived outside vis-a-vis. Yes.
Interesting. And I must attest, because when I was coming over, I used to wonder.
Yes.
Very good service, professional, newer aircraft, and you guys are doing a fantastic job on the ground. And I would advise any Kenyan coming through Dubai or transiting through Dubai, use Rwanda Air and you tell the difference. Especially at the airport, everything is run professionally. You feel that this is a different airline and they mean business. So back to the interview. Here you have someone, they're seated at their desk on the internet, and they're here Googling jobs in Dubai. What are the 2 or 3 things you tell them to look out for?
Well, first of all, are they very specific in what they want, or they're just doing jobs in Dubai?
They've had the opportunities out there and they want to come and give it a shot.
Well, I would say that first of all, you want to look at, am I qualified for that job? What are the requirements? I mean, some jobs are very specific, be female. Some jobs sometimes ask for certain nationalities, and some jobs also may even want a local. A local is somebody born, in the UAE. They're called the Emiratis. There are jobs because they've now recently started what we call the Emiratization. This country has a lot of expatriates as compared to the.
I understand they're more expatriate than the locals.
Yes, but over time, the locals have started, taking, jobs, opportunities. So there are certain jobs that are reserved for the nationals. So those are the kind of things that somebody needs to look out for when just be. And also, I keep saying it's good to do a due diligence. It's always good to verify information. A lot of the internet is full of scams. So people, post this kind of jobs to attract some certain, I've seen on LinkedIn even people are saying we're hiring, and that also helps to pull people into there.
Wow.
So there are all sorts of things happening.
So you have to be careful.
In the internet.
Do due diligence.
Yes.
Just
ask for information. Follow. When you're looking at hotels, look at the chains. Follow this kind of thing. It's Marriott. If you're looking at these brands, you will see, and they have online portals.
So if you see a job online, just go to their website and
see.
Find out whether have they posted.
Yes, because we have a lot of we've got a lot of people who have taken this as a business. Everywhere.
Okay.
So they know people want to get jobs, so people have taken that advantage and people have lost money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. It's quite unfortunate.
And
So lastly, would you say, are there seasons or hiring takes place throughout the year?
Well, here we have there are seasons, because sometimes, let me give an example. When you have Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, sort of a lot of things sort of come to like a standstill. It's like a whole period, like a 1 month, where there's fasting with the Muslims and all. So that period, slightly before Ramadan and Ramadan itself, and a bit after, because then you go for Eid, and Eid celebration sometimes could have another sort of holiday for another 1+. So that period sort of is a bit it's quiet. Then you come to this festivity period, where a lot of people again go for vacation. All the business leaders, all the decision makers, influencers are sort of gone. So it's a bit quiet again. So come January, mid-January, come January, from around mid-January to March, before Ramadan, this is a good period. Then Ramadan period, slows down, then it picks up again. Yes. And it's important to also always, for people looking for jobs out there, to check with people who are here, to check that, because I've also seen, unfortunately, people because agents, for either lack of information or for just wanting to make money, they don't tell people. I've seen somebody here, not one or two, coming on a 3-month visa, and more than half the period will be Ramadan. So
already that means they've already lost
possibly lost even 2 months, because the whole period slows down completely.
Yeah.
Like sort of a week before the whole period, that another like 2 weeks. You can lose a good 2 months.
When is Ramadan? Just for people watching.
Well, it's not somewhere I can see. It basically, it's time.
The moon.
Yes, and every year there's a bit of a difference in terms of when it is. Like this year, I was trying to, I can't remember exactly the dates, but so you can, even if you Google Ramadan, Ramadan 2020, it will show you the dates.
Yeah.
So as for you,
April or May.
For you as a recruiter, these are the kind of things that you might want to go into and look at Ramadan 2020 and sort of block off that period. If you're advising somebody, you tell them no, avoid this period because things are a bit, you know, I don't want to use the word slow, but that's the reality that things are a bit slower around that period for a good reason. This is the time they're observing the holy month. So you block off that period, and that's how creative, you know, that's how creative it is. Even if you want to add value to, as an agent, and you want to add value to these people who are looking for jobs, when you give the right information and somebody goes and succeeds, they will always say, I got my job or I got my opportunity through through corporate staffing. So this is also something that people need to know, that it pays, it costs you nothing to give the right information. Yes.
I agree with you, though. I must say, like I said, a lot of our focus, we don't hire for Middle East.
Yes.
So we are doing this to educate Kenyans who might be thinking of job opportunities in the UAE.
Yes. For information purposes and also for guidance, because people don't know that you don't do that. People will always come to you and ask you that question. So even for you being equipped with that kind of information is good, because you give advice.
That's very important. Good. Finally, what would you say about the social life here in the UAE?
There's a lot to say.
There's a lot to say.
You want to hear the good or the bad? It's big. I mean, this place is home to. This place is home to all the biggest brands are here. So if you want recreation, if you want shopping, if you want entertainment, everything is here. But you have to choose wisely. You've got to choose wisely what you really want. I mean, if it's a personal choice, I can choose to club, to do all these things every day. I can also choose that these things are there and I'm not going to do it, or I'll do it sparingly, maybe during my free time. So, and a lot of us have gotten into this trap of enjoying it.
Get carried away by life.
Yes, it becomes party after party after party, and shortly, like our famous governor, it becomes trouble after trouble after trouble.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a personal choice. Yes.
Thank you so much, Bwana Timothy.
Yes.
We've been talking to Timothy Nji here. He's a Kenyan working in Dubai and working for around here, and he's been very forthcoming with information on what it takes, not only to get a job in here in Dubai or UAE, but also how to succeed and thrive in your career. So thank you so much for joining us. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section below, and we'll try and answer it. And where we don't answer, we'll be able to get the right information for you. Thank you very much.